know. Niggas know how I'm bumming, nigga. Yeah. Fuck what a nigga say, I feel like Dre. Man, the game is thick. Suckers wanna play and load my K into that bitch click. Big stick, hanging out the bottom of my 4-5. No lie, if I whip it out, somebody gon' die. Only time you hard is on the gram when you go live. Flexing with a tube but never blam, I'ma blow mine. Won't show mine until it's go time. Nah, you can't hold mine. Yeah, I got the whole mine, I'm on the goal line. And I'm going for 6, watch me up the scope. Caught him at the stove, he was with his hoe. Had to let him know, that's your ass, you don't get it past. You reap what you sow. Why you speaking low? Speak up. Boy, you been a hoe. Boy, you been a bitch. Get off dick, tryna steal my drip. Look up in the air, you see me, I'm fly as bird shit. Never on no nerd shit. Why you on that lame shit? You don't want no smoke, you get smoke with who you hang with. You know what I'm saying? Lame ass niggas talking about they on some gang shit. Nigga, you's a bitch, nigga. Matter of fact, nigga, you's a hoe. Nah, you ain't no hoe, cause hoes get dope. Man, that pussy ass a cat.
We fucking live, my niggas.
Tell him free to act. Dealing free a rat. You know he told how you sleep with.
Heart2Start Fantasy Podcast, man. Back from our 3-week hiatus, man. You know what I'm saying? Your boy got married. My cousin was in the wedding, had to move, new spot alert. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, we apologize, y'all, for not tapping in. But we back though, man. Life happens.
We back, bro. You know, life hits. You know, we you know, our family, you know what I mean? You know, it's been a lot of ups and downs and smiles and frowns, but 2 weeks ago, man, that shit was a lot of smiles, man, a lot of memories, man, you know, and it was all captured on digital content, man, so we'll be able to live those memories forever, bro, even though it'll be replayed in our mind, but we can just always double back and go look at all the motherfucking smiles that we turned up at this boy wedding, man. We kicked it like a motherfucker, man. We showed up and showed out, man. Oh, my mama, I'm gonna give y'all a little backstory though, right? So on Friday at the rehearsal, when they said we had to do the Soul Train line, I was shook at this. Oh my mama, man. You know, I'm not a wiggler. You know, my 1-2 is all I got. But you know, I dug into the soul of a young black brother. And, you know, I had to get low on their ass during when they called my name. Oh, my mama, man. And I got the video. I might post the video one day. But, yeah, man, that shit was fired in the motherfucker. I didn't think I could bring it back out in me, man. I thought them days was over of a nigga wiggling, man.
All the energy was in the building. It was a party, 100%. Man. You know, they used to be like, man, Kev, why you always you know, you always like to go to the club and you know, you want to party. This is when I used to be partying and going out all the time. And I'm like, man, I just like to feel the love. Like Ace say, man, I need to go out, man. What Money Mitch said, I need to go out, man, feel the love, man. I need to be around my people.
You be calling my name. Yeah, that nigga used the analogy of a basketball player, you know, just a sports player. Man, they be shouting your name, man. It's just for the love of the game.
For the love of the game, man. Speaking of the game, we at y'all, man, Saturday night, you know, real early in the morning, football back on. We with that week 6 matchup talk right now, man, with some question and answers. If we got some question and answers pop up in the whatever. Y'all go follow us on the Instagram too, Heart2Start Podcast. Get some more content back up there soon. We got the studio getting set up a little better, so we'll be able to give y'all some real quality hoop and football talk. Hoop talk coming back real soon.
Coming, man. You know, draft season is right now. You know, the season start on the 19th. You know what I mean? Hoop is here. That shit seemed like it came fast, bro. It seemed like
that shit came fast.
Nah, and usually, you know, I think hoop is over with, you know, mid-June or something like that. But, you know, with the season the way that it kicked off last year, it ran a little late. But that's why I feel like, you know, the shit just ended, bro. And here it is already again, bro.
Already here.
One question for the hoop motherfuckers, if y'all ain't here, man. If you got the 1.01, who you taking with that draft pick? Is Luka?
I just had the number 1 pick. I just had the number 1 pick in the AOB in the AOB for basketball, and I picked Luka number 1. I picked
where was Harden drafted at? Was Harden the top 5 with them triple doubles?
5 or something. I forget. It was like 5. It went.
Do you remember who the 2 was? KD.
KD, nah, it was I can tell you right quick. Let's see. I had to go Doncic though. It was out of him and Jokic. Jokic went 2. Wood actually had Jokic. He went 2 with Jokic. Let's see. Draft, boom, rounds. Jokic, Giannis went 3, Steph went 4, Harden went 5, Lillard went 6, KD went 7.
Why is Steph a top 5 pick?
Because he averaged 32 a game and almost 6 threes a game.
I feel
Them
it.
threes come in handy. That's
it,
points, threes, categories.
Category,
you know what I'm saying? Yeah, we'll see. Hey, but like we said, Hoop Talk is coming back.
On the way.
It's on the way. Y'all be ready for that. But let's jump into this, man, because it's late on the East Coast right now, and people got to wake up, and it's an early game, 9:30 for them, 6:30 for us. Let's jump into the first one, Dolphins and the Jags. London game. We know when it's London, bridges can come falling down, and you might get a low-scoring game. That's what usually – I have the bad luck of the low-scoring game coming in the London games for me. I think I had I forget who I had last week. The Jets play. Yeah, I didn't have nobody on the Jets. Pitts ended up balling, and Patterson did cool. So that was fantasy-wise. That was a good one. DraftKings right now, I'm firing up James Robinson all day. My question, too, though, James Robinson, he's looking like, I got him at like the 8-9 this week in running backs. Top 10. I feel like he's top 10 every week now. Is he locked in for top 10 every week? Barn, there's been some injuries, but is he that guy or what?
I mean, what did he hit for? $1.40 last week or something like that, bro?
Almost 150. Should have had 150.
Urban Meyer knows that he got to get him the ball, I mean, Trevor Lawrence isn't that guy to where he could just pick apart defenses right now. So, the best friend to a rookie quarterback or, second, third year quarterback is a run game and the tight end, and I know, what is it, Dan Arnold that's over there, you know what I mean? Besides Marvin Jones and Shenault, which we'll be talking about here in a few seconds. But yeah, I think you got to keep force feeding James Robinson the ball. You got to, bro. I mean, in his rookie year as a undrafted fantasy player last year, or Wood is in the comments, he could tell us where he got him at last year. You know what I mean? Whether it be undrafted or in the 14th, 15th round. And
I grabbed him in the third round of all my leagues that I had him in.
Of this year, though, right?
Yeah, this year.
Yeah. So, but the point that I'm trying to make is that James Robinson is a proven NFL player, though. You know what I mean? Last year, you was able to get him undrafted, 15th round, 16th round, whatever it is, even though you might have took him high. And then with the news of ETN, oh, well, he not going, man, get the fuck out of here. James Robinson is that guy, bro, no matter what. So, yeah, 16 is a lot, easily, especially if you even get a touch. The rest of this shit is going to be, it's going to add up. Every 10 yards is going to add up. You know what I mean? Definitely 16 is easy.
Hey, Urban Meyer was juiced about that Gruden news, man. He didn't.
Yeah, because he took the heat off his motherfucking ass. That's for sure.
Because man, they look bad. He makes them look bad. But I will say this: Trevor Lawrence. I seen a stat a week and a half ago, and I'm sure they changed too much. Almost 2 weeks ago. Trevor Lawrence he has the worst catchable ball percentage right now. It don't help that DJ Chark got hurt. You know what I'm saying? It don't help. But that leads me to my next question. Are you trusting Marvin Jones after 2 straight single digits, or is this his bounce back game?
And I have Marvin Jones in 2 leagues. You know what I mean? And the first 3 weeks were very promising with him, which I never had to throw him in the lineup, but just to have him on the bench and seeing those first 3 weeks of him, balling out. You know what I mean? It was very promising for my bye weeks that's coming up. But no, I can't trust him. 2 straight weeks of, you having DJ out, out the lineup. You know what I mean? You would think that he would command the targets because he's the OG in the league. You know what I mean? He should be able to know how to, force Trevor's hand to give him the ball. You know what I mean? 100%. So no, I can't trust him right now. And luckily, I don't have to fire him up right now, but I'll also try to use him as a tradable piece to upgrade in different positions. But these last 2 games to where, he hasn't done nothing, ain't nobody biting. So I'm forced to sit with him right now. But like I said, usually I'm a running back heavy guy, in my drafts this year. I didn't do that, you know what I mean? Especially in my 2 home leagues, you know what I mean? So I'm very wide receivable deep right now to where, I don't have to play him. Luckily I don't, but like I said, I'm still searching for a second running back in both of my leagues.
It's gonna be fucked up too, because even if he get off this week, he got a bye. So, you'd have to sell him in the middle of that bye next week. You know what I'm saying? But the thing that stands out to me goes back to Trevor Lawrence leading the league in uncatchable balls. Marvin Jones, 6 targets, 1 catch for 25 yards last game. Now, I mean, single digits the game before that, 3 targets, 3 catches, 24 yards. Chark missed the first couple of Marvin Jones still had it going. So, maybe if you in one of them trade scenarios, you just like have somebody throw him in, like you don't even care about him, and maybe you just want a little bit more out the trade. And you're like, hey, bro, just throw Marvin Jones into maybe that's the play for him right now. But I really don't trust it. I trust Laviska more. So that answers mine: Laviska or Marvin Jones.
Yeah, my thing is too, though. I mean, this week, like you said, even though they go into a bye week after this, both teams they should be after the London game, but it's no Xavier Howard, so all you got is Byron Jones over there. You know what I mean? So I don't know if he's going to be following one or the other, whether it be Laviska or Marvin, but one of them should have a solid ass game. You know what I mean? Not saying that I know which one is going to have a solid game, but one of them should be able to produce over there. And then you got Tua coming back. My thing is just that Tua, for the first 3 weeks that he was in the lineup, or first 2 weeks, he wasn't going to Gesicki, and I got a lot of shares of Gesicki because I overlooked the tight end position, hoping that I can get me one of those guys in the later rounds that were that was producing. So with Brissett being at the helm, he has been looking for Gesicki. You know what I mean? So I don't know if it's going to hurt Gesicki this week. You know what I mean? So, like I said, I got Gesicki starting.
Tua should help out.
Huh?
Tua should help out a lot more. But this game, they got the DraftKings, the captain mode, where you could pick one player and then you just pick him from one game. Man, I'm running with I'm not running with no Dolphins. So give me all Jags that game. The only Dolphin I will mess with is Gesicki, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I mean, it lightweight shakes me though, because Tua wasn't looking for Gesicki in the first 2 weeks. You know what I mean? Like I said, I think I got in AOB and Ashy, I got Gesicki in both of those leagues, but I also went and got Njoku in both of those leagues too, though, just to be searching for or throwing up a prayer to the fantasy gods for a tight end. You know what I mean? 100%.
I got a question through the text message. Somebody that don't know how to work the chat. Apparently, the question is Dan Arnold or the Jags wide receivers. Dan Arnold is somebody that I picked up in the Heart2Start league because I was thirsty for tight ends, and I played him in a few DraftKings. They traded for him. You know what I'm saying? Why not? Why that? He do know how to work it, I guess. I'm rocking with Arnold, man. If he's somebody you need, like I said, even on the Panthers, they drafted Trimble. Trimble was a hot pick in Dynasty, and to see Arnold get shipped off tell me 2 things. Trimble got action on some Dynasty mode, and Dan Arnold got action over there. Them need another weapon to make it.
They traded for
Trevor
Lawrence.
Reason.
Yeah. No, definitely. And then, with the young quarterback, whether it be a rookie second-year quarterback, like I just said, they best friends is a running game and the tight end that's working them short to intermediate routes and the seams 100%, because you're drawing linebackers and motherfucking safeties. Dan Arnold is very athletic out there, and I mean, the fantasy stats show it that he can put up a few points out there, and we talked about it a couple of shows ago, whether it be Mark Andrews or Waller or fucking Kelsey, them is the boys that's putting up, 130 yards and a TD or here or two. But them other boys at the tight end position in fantasy, all you hoping for is 5 receptions, 50, 60, 70 yards, which might get you 7, 9, 10 11, 12 points. You know what I mean? If you don't got none of the top 3, 4, 5 tight ends, all you're hoping for is 10 to 12 points, bro, a week.
And Arnold could do that. 100%. I got another question. Are you trusting Gaskin now?
Yeah, Gaskin, that was his breakout week last week, definitely. It's time to get Gaskin going. Ahmed's not that guy. Malcolm Brown's not that guy. Gaskin is that guy. He's ready to go. That's all he needed was last week to get on track, and whoever the OC
I also look at it too, though. I'm not just getting cute and just starting him over. I'm not just getting too cute. Let's just say that. Like I might start running back. I might start Zach. Well, I ain't gonna say Moss. I'd have to think about that. I'm not just throwing him in the fire because one thing that stands out about last game: 10 targets, 10 catches. You know what I'm saying? 2 reception TDs. Now maybe he could repeat on the reception TD. 31 is a big jump from having 0, but before that, he still was approaching the double digits, 9, 8, and 11. So I'm trusting him. Chances are, if you got Gaskin, most of the teams I've seen constructed had a lot of wide receivers and maybe 1 running back.
No, definitely.
And then Gaskin. So,
right. That's what you're
am I still on the search for somebody else? But, I'm trusting him to an extent. If I'm already starting them, I'm starting them. You know.
So a backstory on that. Shout out to Count Up Kurt. You know what I mean. So when CMC first got ruled out, you know what I mean, I was going hard to give him Chuba for Gaskin, and he was not budging. Not budging. I think we went 2 weeks trying to get a trade going, and he would not budge. And that motherfucker dropped Gaskin, bro. I'm like, bro. And then he traded CMC. So he had CMC, I had Chuba. You know what I mean? I'm trying to go hard for Gaskin. I mean, hard, bro. Pause. And that's when Gaskin ain't had the blow-up game. So he ended up trading CMC, then drop Gaskin. And I don't even know what the trade was because the trade was bullshit. You know what I mean? Because
he's in a frantic.
Man, that's crazy, bro. And here it is last week. He had a blow-up. And then when whoever who picked up Gaskin, it might have been your brother. I seen you said in the chat, like, damn, who the fuck dropped Gaskin? I'm like, CJ, bro, you could have been sent me this dude, bro, and kept CMC on everything. That shit hurt, bro.
Hey, I'm glad you brought up Chuba. Let's get into the Vikings and the Panthers. Chuba over 14.
Easy.
He's
a volume play. He's gonna get all the volume. 100%.
Man,
and the way that the Panthers lost last week, you know what I mean? They got to get back on track. You know what I mean? 100%.
If they want to be who they think they are, they definitely got to get back on track.
No, and they're a great team. I mean, the moves that they made on the defensive side last week to go get Stephon Gilmore, and then they just traded for a linebacker. His name ain't coming to my head right now. They feel that they can go get one of them 5 to 7 spots in this playoff positioning, you know. So, I mean, they're very aggressive. You know, J.C. Horn might come back, you know, between the 10th and 12th week mark, you know, the pair J.C. Horn with Stephon Gilmore, and J.C. Horn was looking great this year for the few weeks that he was out there. You know, Carolina feel like that they there, bro. 100%. Yeah.
I think he can get 14 for sure. And with the news coming out that McCaffrey's gonna miss at least 3 more games, are you trying to trade him right now aggressively to the CMC owner? I know I am.
Trying to trade Chuba to the CMC owner?
Yes. This is where you get max value.
I'm gonna see. I have a share of CMC in our Superflex, which I traded for Nick Chubb from you. So, you know, I'm hurting in the Superflex league right now. You know what I mean? That shit hurts. But I have Chuba in that league. So, you know, for somehow I was proactive to go get Chuba and also have CMC. So I'll be all right there. But I also was able to go get Chuba in the 14 team Heart2Start redraft.
Yeah, I got him actually, but I was one of the ones that had him when I drafted CMC. I made sure he stayed on my roster. Shout out to the homie Huey, man. He dropped Chuba the other week, and I scooped him up. I ain't trusting McCaffrey, and I'm throwing him right into the fire. Another one I want to get on to. Two Cousins had 14, 15 last week. Darnold got brought down to earth. Darnold rushing is helping him a lot, but if you had to pick one, Darnold or Cousins this week?
In the same game as well,
Same
what I
game.
mean? This shit crazy.
Heart2Start. You
Right,
got both of them on your team.
Definitely.
You got Cousins and you scared of Carolina D, and you got Darnold, and he just came off the 9.
And with Wood being in the chat, me and Wood just bust a play for a trade in Ashy, and Wood is running with Cousins. You know what I mean? I went and got Hurts out of him, even though Hurts put up a solid 25. You know what I mean? The passing volume was low. It was just the Russian value that he brought to it. But yeah, I mean, Cousins is that guy. Cousins know how to slang that motherfucker. They got a whole bunch of weapons. Alexander Madison, one game without Cook, then Cook come back, then another game without him. You know what I mean? Even though Madison has done his thing in those 2 starts, but no CMC hurts Carolina, bruh. For real, you see the dud that they put up last week, that shit hurts, bro. The first 2 weeks, it looked like even though they played bum ass teams, it looked like Carolina was on their way to making a mark, bro. Sam Darnold was throwing that bitch, I think he threw for back-to-back 300-yard games in the first 2 games. But give me Cousins this week, bro. Give me Cousins, and that hurts because I got DJ Moore in the AOB, and DJ Moore has been looking like one of the steals of the draft this year, bro. Last week the shit, it didn't pan out, but for the first 4 weeks, DJ Moore was that boy.
100%. Shout out to Dribble in the project
Dribble
in the comments, man. What's going on? So look in the comments right now. We got Cousins, Darnold. You just said Cousins, JD, so I got to break the tie right here. I'm going to go with Darnold right now. I'm going to go with Darnold for a few reasons. One, like Dribble said, Carolina D is a lot tougher to me than Minnesota is.
Definitely.
I'm going to go with Darnold because of his rushing ability and able to get one and throw one. So I think his floor, even though he had that game last week, I think it's a little better. Then I look at Minnesota's last 2 games. 7-14 loss the week before to Cleveland. That was a slugfest, but here it is, Cousins. We need you to go get us some points in the air. They was running a lot more. That was a game Dalvin that just came back from being banged up. But boom, Cousins, we needed you. Whatever the game plan was, you didn't do nothing there. Next game, Detroit, you expect them to whoop them. They almost lost. They wasn't
that's
just
a divisional game.
It's a division slugfest. 14 points. That's cool. They're not relying on Cousins for them to win right now. With CMC out, it's going more on Darnold for me. So I would take Darnold.
No, I feel it, but you got to also recognize too, though. I mean, just like how the Niners played Arizona Cardinals very well last week, bro. It's a divisional game. You see them twice a year, bro. You know what the fuck is going on, bro. So you know what I mean. That last week game was a little bit of an anomaly, just based on it was a divisional game. Here it is that you got these boys coming in and both y'all is fighting for that, between that 6 and that 7 spot as a playoff team. The way that the Vikings started out real nice, real hot, putting up a whole lot of numbers. You know what I mean? Just like Carolina in the first couple of weeks, putting up a whole lot of numbers. You would consider them as a 6 or a 7 seed, which is getting you in the playoffs. So yeah, this game is very important for both of these teams, and I think it's going to be a shootout. You know what I mean? I got to go with Cousins just based on that. Ain't no JC Horn. Gilmore's not there. He's not ready to come off the IR until 2 more weeks, I think it is. I think that Jefferson and Thielen are more primed in a position to have a better game than Robbie Anderson, who's fizzled out. DJ Moore, who had a subpar game last week, which was one of the reasons that I took the L in the AOB last week. I mean, we can dive into that a little later.
Anyway. Kirk put up a lot of points. You would
no, but I mean, if we talking about my AOB loss, you know what I mean? Like I said, like I told Kurt, I had 3 duds last week. Kyler, DJ, and I started Sermon over fucking AJ Dillon. You know what I mean? I had 3 duds. And he had a Justin Herbert who put up a 50 watt. So, that L, I took that on the chin. Like, man, this is more of an anomaly than a trend.
Hey, let me get to this next question before we get out this game. Thielen, will he get back on track after 2 straight single digits? You kind of already alluded to the fact that him and Jefferson could have a better game.
Definitely, I could see them in the red zone, and he cooks whoever's on him in the red zone easily. Thielen is a tremendous route runner, especially in the red zone, to where he gets open, and Cousins is looking for him. I mean, the motherfucker had 4 TDs in 3 games to start the season off. 5, it might have been 5.
Something ain't clicking with him and Cousins right now. 8 targets, 3 catches, 46 yards. 8 targets, 3 catches, 46 yards. Same thing, back to back. Let's see. 3 targets, 2 catches, 40 yards. This the Thielen bounce back game. They got to buy after this. I like Thielen this week. Chopped a lot. Hey, Thielen is going daily fantasy. I'm messing with Thielen this week. Long term, hope he has a good week and try to trade him. He does have a bye next week. That's where I'm at with Thielen. Let's go with the Chargers and the Ravens. That's going to be a matchup. That should be a good game. That might be one of the better games of the week. I'll start off the bat. Herbert or Lamar score more this game?
I think it's Lamar. I definitely think it's Lamar because, I think it was in the second half is when he started clicking inside the pocket. He hit Hollywood on a 40-yard bomb, and he put it right in his bread basket where it looked like a Jerry Rice over-the-shoulder TD. You know what I mean? I think Lamar is really starting to click, but not to say that Herbert coming off that 50-point game and what he did against the motherfucking Browns, you know what I mean? Mike Williams is a little banged up. He's questionable going into tomorrow's game, which he's been probably one of the steals of your fucking fantasy draft. Whoever got Mike Williams, you got him as a fucking flex play, and he's playing like the WR1 with 6 TDs scored, leading the league right now, putting up consistent 20s and 30s. That shit hurts. You know what I mean? Definitely. But yeah, I think to answer the question, I think it's Lamar though, bro. And Lamar is doing this with no running game, no top flight wide receiver. You know what I mean? The first round receiver that they drafted this year, Bateman, is not been on the field. You know what I mean? Hollywood is looking like a breakout candidate of the year. Mark Andrews was coming off of a 150-yard performance in the Indianapolis game. I think that was last week, 2 tuts. You know what I mean? It's clicking. Give me Lamar Jackson right now, bro. And that's a lot of motherfuckers front runner for the MVP in the first 5 weeks. Yeah, give me Lamar.
We got a LJ in the comments. We got a Herbo in the comments. Lamar in the comments. JD, you say Lamar. I'm gonna go with Lamar too. One of the things that Drew said is, the run defense over there, and that is their weak spot. The Bolts, man, they've been killing. Chargers been killing. Their defense been looking solid. I had said that earlier in the year, like they might be a sneaky defense, but I'm gonna go with Lamar just because. More so the Herbert, Mike Williams being banged up this week. He's gonna play through it. Contract year. I'm a firm believer in contract year. The chemistry they got. Just precaution. Knee injury. That he's been dealing with. We know Mike Williams. The reason he went in those late rounds is because everybody was scared of the injury history. Otherwise, he would have been going high. You know what I'm saying? And the production has not been there because of the injury history. Last year, he took off at the end too, though. But I say that to say, if I'm saying who's going to score more and I'm going with the safe, I'm going with the safer Lamar. Even though Herbert been killing 24, 37, 24, and 50-something points, depending on your scoring in your league. Man, Herbert is a boy. Herbert is a boy, but I'm taking Lamar right here. And I think I got the Chargers winning that game too.
And the thing with Herbert is, as well as in 12-team redrafts, Herbert was going 6th, 7th round, while Lamar, you know, it was in the 4th, 5th round pick. You know what I mean? So where you got, depending on where you got them boys, they're performing as a Mahomes is really just Mahomes that was going maybe in the 3rd round, and then you got Brady as well, who was going around where Herbert and Rodgers and I forgot about Allen. You know what I mean? So just to have either Herbert or Lamar Jackson on your fucking fantasy roster right now, bro, they're winning you weeks 100%. Because I just lost to Herbert. Like I said, he put up a 50 wide last week, you know, and it was a 114 to a 160 or some shit like that in one of the home leagues, bro. And like I said, I put up 3 of my players put up a dud, you know what I mean? So, you know,
Let's talk about Keenan Allen in this matchup. Keenan Allen, he has not gone past 20 this season yet. And depending on what your scoring is.
Yeah, no, definitely. And I'm not mad at that, because Keenan, even though, you know, in previous years, Keenan has been that alpha dog, but the reason why he's been that alpha dog is because Mike Williams hasn't been a reliable guy. So for the first 5 weeks of this season, Mike Williams has been the alpha dog over there. You know, he's the one that's been benefiting from getting, you know, the second corner on every team over there, and every team don't got 2 corners. So, and Mike Williams was a top 5 pick, top 6 pick when the Chargers took him. So the potential has always been there. He's just never been reliable. Availability is your best ability. You know what I mean? And so he's been available for the first 5 weeks, and he's been killing with the opportunities that he's been getting. So it's, you know, I mean, Keenan is going to take a little bit of a downplay because he's drawing the top coverage, but yet Keenan has been, I think his fewest points has only been like a 9 or a 10, you know, 10-point performance, depending on how your scoring is. But Keenan, you didn't take him as your number 1 receiver unless you took 3 straight running backs, a tight end, or a quarterback, and then that was your first receiver. But if you took 2 receivers and a tight end and then double back with Keenan with a 0 RB strategy, he's your flex. You know what I mean?
I'm gonna say this. I'm with Dribble again. Shout out to the homie Project Dribble. Big Keenan tomorrow. When I do my DraftKings lineups, I reserve the contest, but I usually I put the lineups in Saturday night and I look over them again Sunday morning. I like to put them in when I'm going to sleep. And I like that sometimes throughout the day, you know, I might make a list or a mental note of the players that people are not going to pick because they haven't been doing anything. I like Keenan Allen this week. You know, the secondary is whooped. If anything, you know, Harbaugh and that staff, they're going to try their best to not let Mike Williams beat them deep.
Shout out,
you know
Tony,
what I'm saying?
Bro.
So who's going to eat? It's going to be a whole lot of Keenan and Eckler. And I say he does get past 20 for the first time. I want to go with one of these questions that popped up.
And I just traded for Keenan too, though. Shout out to my dog Wood. We put a power move earlier this week in the motherfucking Ashy. You know what I mean? I gave up Kittle. You know, I was a thirsty team that needed, you know, players right now. Kittle being on the IR. And I went and got Keenan, Josh Jacobs, and Hurts because I was thirsty at quarterback, but I had to give up Harris, Kittle, and I can't think of who else it was. You know what I mean? But yeah. Oh, I gave up Ridley, and really hadn't been performing, and really coming off some personal issues, whatnot. Yeah, nah, definitely. I'm a Keenan believer too, man. I had Keenan. No, I had Cheetah, Mike Evans, who put up a dud this Thursday, but to be able to get Keenan Allen and Jalen Hurts, oh yeah, and Josh Jacobs. Josh Jacobs ready to go, bro. Yeah, everything. My bad.
All right, we got a question in the chat. It was Moss or Tony. If I'm gonna say ceiling is Tony, better floor to me right now is Moss, but only right now. I love Tony and what he might do. We are going to talk about this later in the show with some of the people coming back on the Giants, and they play the Rams. But this week, I'm going with Moss on the Monday night. I feel like Moss is you know, if you got buys or whatever, and you're actually considering the running back, he's going to be as safe as they come because they're getting in the red zone.
Yeah,
I'm going
if
Moss
Daniel
right here.
Jones is cleared out of concussion protocol, I'm gonna go Kadarius, especially with Keenan being out. I don't know if Slayton and what is the other boy's name? Shepard. I don't know if they playing, but the way that
Shepard
Kadarius
cleared
did
to
this
play.
motherfucking thing, I think Kadarius is gonna command a whole lot of targets.
So really, that's actually perfect that they asked that question because we're gonna jump into the Rams and Giants right now. And the first question was, can Tony continue success, or will this game Shepard return her? Because remember, we're talking about week 6. Season long, Tony. I'm rocking with Tony. Yes, he can continue the success. He was looking way too electric. He was looking like the last dude that missed the beginning of the season on his rookie year. You know what I'm saying? OBJ on the Giants. Man, I'm going Tony for the long haul. This game, like I said, I'm more scared of the Rams than I am of Shepard returning.
Yeah, no, and I think that Kadarius Toney can line up in any receiver position as well. So, you know, I think that he's gonna be able to do his motherfucking thing and show why he was the first round pick, you know, for the Giants. You know, they didn't take him just because they you know, he was, you know, they took him for a specific reason. And last week showed why they took his motherfucking ass for that reason. 100%. And Daniel Jones was feeding his motherfucking ass. Yeah, no, definitely pause. Yeah, give me Tony, dog.
Quick question.
Tony.
Bench 2 in PPR: Tyreek, Hollywood, Jefferson, McLaurin, Deontay.
Oh my
I'm a
goodness.
bench.
How many players is in this league, bro? For
Man,
you to
I'm
have
a bench.
all those receivers, bro.
I'm a bench Hollywood versus the Chargers. And I'm gonna go ahead and bench.
You got to bench McLaurin.
I'm gonna go ahead and bench. I'm gonna keep McLaurin versus the Chiefs, and I'm gonna go ahead and bench Deontay because they play the Seahawks, and I'd be worried. You know, there's a situation where they might be getting in their ass a little bit.
Yeah, I got to bench Hollywood and McLaurin. I think McLaurin also showed up on the injury report. You know what I mean? But if you give me Hollywood, Justin Jefferson, and Tyreek, I think I'm running up anybody. You know, them boys is gonna give me 20 plus this week for sure.
I'm playing McLaurin in that situation for sure.
I ain't mad at it. I mean, you know, the Chiefs is definitely. I mean, the Chiefs probably have one of the worst bottom 5 defenses in the league for sure. It's just that, you know, coming off of the week that Washington had last week, I just don't know about, you know, that passing game.
Yeah,
I'm a big Taylor Heineke fan right now, bro. I got him in a lot of my Superflex leagues. Definitely.
Next question on this Rams and Giants: will Booker pay dividends for those hoping for RB2 numbers that picked him up off that wire? And mind you, you know, it's pretty early in the season, and it's funny that we're looking at people like Booker to put up RB2 numbers because there's been so many injuries. Obvious one being the guy in front of him, Saquon Barkley. Last week, 4 targets, 3 catches, a reception TD, 42 yards. Shout out to Booker too, man. He from that Sacramento, man, 916. What you think though, JD?
Yeah, I mean, definitely. I'm firing him up. I have a share of Saquon, but I was able to go get Devontae, so I'm firing him up. And the way that he performed last week, he's definitely gonna be able to get some of them touches. You know what I mean? So yeah, I got to fire him up. Definitely, bro.
All right, so look, I'm gonna pull up my list of my rankings this week, and I'm gonna ask you a few questions involving Booker. And I'm gonna go, Booker or Joe Mixon?
Joe Mixon ain't been doing nothing, bro. So give me Booker.
Man, and obviously, y'all, we not talking about, you know, we talking about who will score more this week. Now, I'm not telling you to start Booker over Mixon, but maybe JD's telling you to start Booker over Mixon. Booker or Darrell Williams on KC, another hot pickup.
No, give me Darrell Williams just based on that the offense is better and he's going to have more opportunities in that red and green zone, which he's been the red and green zone back for Kansas City.
Booker or Chuba Hubbard?
Give me Chuba just based on the volume play.
Chuba. Next game, Texans and Colts.
But hold on, though. Shout out to Steven C.K., you know what I mean? Dornbach. Yeah, nah. McLaurin is going to draw all of the defensive coverage over there. 100%, bro. I don't think that McLaurin is going to be able to put up. I mean, it just depends on what you think he's going to hit for you. But no, I don't think he's going to hit for over 15. I don't. I think that they're going to lock his ass down, bro. He's the main focal point. You know, this might be another Antonio Gibson day, you know, or Ricky.
They ain't even gonna be able to run the ball. The Chiefs about to whoop they ass. They are mad. They've been getting taken advantage of.
You can call me crazy for wanting to sit scary in this game, but I think that he draws all the coverage, bro. Yeah, 100%. And his name ain't scary. He's the real T-Mac. He's the second T-Mac.
Second T-Mac. I got a question on this Texans and Colts. Can Wentz finally be trusted? 19 points and 31 in his last 2. So I throw this question out here off the rip. Who we talked about earlier, Cousins, Darnold, or Wentz this week?
Give me Cousins for sure, just based on the weapons that Cousins have over there for sure. Out of all three of them,
I'm taking Wentz, man. I'm gonna take Wentz.
The F1. I ain't mad at you, bro. I ain't mad at you.
Give me Wentz over Cousins and Darnold this week. I'm taking Wentz. Michael Pittman. He been doing his little thing.
He's solid.
Houston has been giving up everything left and right. You know, we don't even got to spend too much time on this game.
Yeah, but Houston had also took New England to the wire last week too. Even though they jumped up on New England, New England came back, but New England
Houston been playing tough.
No,
they've been playing like they,
sure,
you know, like
sure. Everything.
We're bad. We know they've been playing like the bad news Bears. You know what I'm saying? Trying to fight to the end, but we'll see. I think Wentz can start to be trusted. I'd rather have him on my bench than I see a lot of people stashing, you know, Trey Lance right now. I would rather have. He's a person you could sit on your bench for bye weeks coming up, depending on who your thing is. We can talk about the Chiefs and the Washington like we were though. Next, the question: will Darrell Williams put up RB2 numbers like we talked about with Booker?
I think he can because he's going to get all the opportunities, you know, and you know, like I said, in that red and green zone, he was the one that was getting the touches. They'll be more in the red and green zone, you know, just based on the outside weapons that they have. So he'll have opportunities to be able to score inside that area, you know. And plus, you know, McKinnon is not drawing first and second down plays. He's not
get more opportunities though.
Huh?
I like McKinnon on the sneak. He's gonna get more opportunities, and he might could do a lot with a little on accident, especially in a game like this. If I'm on some DraftKings stuff, I'll take McKinnon and throw him in there because Williams' price is kind of high, and a lot of people.
Yeah, I can't see McKinnon doing too much of nothing this week. That's for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, it hasn't been there this year yet. I mean, he's got a few plays here and there, but
Tyreek Hill's injury. He was back full participant this last day. He good. You know, he came up limpy. I actually seen it on the play. I think it was towards the end zone, towards the end of the game. They went deep and maybe he knock-kneed or something with somebody, or he kind of stepped wrong. But he looked like he was bothered. But he's a tough one. But I want to see if they really going. You've been hearing rumors. Shout out to Wood in the comments. You've been hearing rumors of maybe OBJ. They brought Gordon in. It's, you know, I don't believe in flash, but they need a second wide receiver. I know. I mean, you know, granted, Kelsey and Hill are like their 1 and 2, but they need something else more reliable.
No, I agree with that. You know, I mean, even though that Miko had a great game last week, I think he hit for 16, 17 points, but Miko is not a consistent threat.
You can't trust
opposite of Kelsey and Tyreek. You know what I mean? That's why you brought Josh Gordon in, you know. Josh Gordon has been one of my guys for a long time, and every time that I go pick him up, cousin be like, "Man, you done went and got Eddie Kane." You know what I mean? You know, I'm a redemption guy. You know, I was one of those guys that needed the redemption story. You know, all the bullshit that happened in my life, so I definitely have rooted for Josh Gordon to come back and make his presence like how he was when he was in Cleveland. You know what I mean? But I mean that's the reason why they got him, because they have nobody opposite of Kelsey and Tyreek to draw coverage away from them dudes. You know what I mean? So I don't think it's
Hey, shout out to the Bears, Brews, and the Bros, man, because this next game, hey, they should have definitely got Juju before he got hurt. They for sure need a real shout out to the Bears, Brews, and Bros, man. This next game, Packers at Bears. Who scores more? Devontae Adams or Mooney and Robinson combined? I'm taking Adams, man. Hey, Rodgers was talking about he don't even know who the quarterback is over there. He stayed jabbing at them. But I'm taking Adams in this one for a soft 35, and Mooney and Robinson continue to dub, man. I got to drop Mooney in the league. I got a roster spot I need to get rid of, and he's on the chopping block, man. That 20-point game he had, 23, it ain't necessarily his fault. That offensive line is whack. Fields don't got a lot of time, plus a rookie. It's time to move on, if you can, for Mooney and Robinson. This is a real question. Who will score more? Because Mooney and Robinson have been poo. Adams gets you 30. Mooney and Robinson combined for 22 points. Maybe one get 15 and the other get, 7, I think it would be. I don't believe, man. I don't believe.
I mean, I would definitely go Adams in this situation as well. But my thing is that, it's just that can they keep Aaron Rodgers, containable? You know what I mean? Khalil Mack and I can't think of my boy that came from the Rams 2 years ago over there, and Roquan, and you know what I mean. The Bears defense ain't that much of a pushover for sure. You know what I mean? And like I said, it's another divisional game. Even though you got Khalil Herbert that's running the rock this week, you know what I mean? So, if you're able to keep the time of possession in your favor, that takes the ball away from the Packers and Aaron Rodgers getting Devontae Adams the ball. You know what I mean? But, if I had to choose or stand on an answer, it's going to be Devontae Adams cooking, the whole Bears secondary. You know what I mean? It just depends on what type of pressure that the Bears can apply on Rodgers with Mack.
It seemed like all the running backs, look, Khalil Herbert, Williams was ruled out with the COVID. Khalil Herbert had all the rushes last week, had 75 yards on the ground. He did look good. So I have another question for you. Herbert, Darrell Williams, or Devontae Booker this week?
I'm gonna take Williams, and this answer is a little bit, well, I can't say it's a little bit biased because I also have Booker starting in place of Saquon, but I like Darrell Williams just based on that the offensive opportunities for him to score, and he's taking the first and second down role on top of being the red zone, green zone back. The opportunity for him to fall into the end zone is a lot higher than Herbert and Devontae, even though Devontae had 2 TDs. Yeah, give me Darrell Williams, bro. And like I said with the Chuba thing, I just threw a dart or threw some shit at the wall and hoping it stick. In both of those situations, this shit happened for me, doggy.
Y'all gonna hate me for this one, but I'm gonna go Herbert. I'm gonna go Herbert because he gonna catch some passes and he gonna run that rock. They be disrespecting this division game. Packers defense ain't really shit. I'm gonna take Herbert, and because Kirk Gotti played against me, and I dropped him in the league, so I think Herbert. But I will say something like the homie just said in the thing, Chuba over all of them this week. I like Chuba.
It's a volume play. Chuba gonna get all the touches. That's for sure. I think that Darrell Williams gonna get all the touches as well too, though. But for that often, they need Chuba. Out of all 4 of those running backs that we just talked about, they need Chuba to get that offense going and to take pressure off of DJ Moore and Robbie Anderson and Arnold. You know what I mean? They got to. That's the way that they use 5-5.
5-5. Hey, C-Man. Next question. Will A.J. Dillon continue to eat in the Aaron Jones workload? And is AJ Dillon like Connor or Moss right now? You know,
Yeah,
you start him.
He's the 1B to that 1A in that situation for sure. And he's the fresh legs. And, you know, with Aaron Jones dealing with that ankle injury and not getting the reps in practice as well, even though, you know, we say practice, shout out to, you know, AI, you know what I mean? Still though, you know, AJ Dillon is the guy. 100%. He's definitely going to continue to eat into that workload, and he's showing that he can catch that rock and do something when he catches it, not only being a pure runner, but also being able to be a threat out that backfield. Yeah, no, you got to, because who else do you have? Tanya's not doing nothing. MVS ain't doing nothing. Lazard ain't doing nothing. Randall Cobb had one good great game since he's been there. You have to have somebody other than Rogue that's putting up them points.
I'll say this week on some daily fantasy, I'm staying away from AJ Dillon. Chicago run D still is stout. I like Aaron Jones. He been banged up, but I do like AJ Dillon to be that role. Like you said, that was what people were worried about last year. He was a rookie. This year is showing they are doing that. We got a question in the chat.
I would rather have Darrell Henderson.
James Robinson or Darrell Henderson full PPR? No, James Robinson. Don't give up on James Robinson. Darrell Henderson will be hurt by the end of the year again.
I don't know, bro. Darrell Henderson is in the high power more offense than what James Robinson is in. You know what I mean? The opportunities to score is going to be there for Darrell Henderson. Give me Darrell Henderson, even though I like J Rob as well, bro. But give me Darrell Henderson.
Look, I'm gonna take the injury out of it, and I do agree with you. Shout out to is it Jai?
Jai,
like Jai. Shout out to Jai. The Jags offense is ass, and the Rams will be up most games and run the ball. I do feel you on that. And Darrell Henderson catches the ball. He's a better pass catcher than Sonny Michel. I just, man, the volume is the same. Shout out to the homie Wood. Like, the volume is going to be what it is with James Robinson. He's not even catching the ball like that, and he's still over 20, 25 points. When he's not running, they're probably down. If he's running, they're probably battling to where they're not trying to have Trevor Lawrence just throw the ball and be as inaccurate as he's been. I'm going with James Robinson, man. I love Henderson. He's as solid as they come, 15, 16. Let's say this. Henderson's floor is better. Henderson's floor is 15. To me, James Robinson going to have way more 20, 25-point games than Henderson this year. So I'm taking J-Rob.
Can we do an intermission right quick, Cuzzo?
You got to
like a minute, 1 minute.
Look,
throw the intro on or something real fast.
Nah, it's cool. I'll keep going with this one. I'll keep going with this. Go ahead.
Sure.
Take your back from break.
1 minute, bro.
Yeah, go ahead. You good?
You're lucky. My bad.
So I'm gonna go with the next game. Let's see. Bengals and Bengals. Shout out to everybody in the comments right now. I know y'all loving it. Shout out to Steve in the comments, man. I panicked earlier the year, traded Eckler for Mixon and another player. It was a 2 for 2, and Eckler's been going crazy. But my question to y'all in the comments and to JD when he get back is, who scores more, Swift or Mixon this week? They playing each other. I'm gonna go with Swift. The pass catchers in Detroit are terrible. Swift got to get the rock. He's guaranteed some catches. You know, Mixon could have the workload and do what he do, but is it going to amount to what they need it to be? You know, Detroit defense is playing like they don't want to be looked at as the worst team. Even though they losing close games, they playing hard. I see a few of y'all in here. Joe Mixon, the top 5 running back this week. Perine is out. I feel you. I like Chris Evans to catch the ball. One thing I don't like about Joe Mixon this year, I thought he would catch the ball just a little bit more. I know we always think that, right? We always think that. But I thought he would just catch the ball just a little bit more. But Burrow is looking downfield. He kind of got that Herbert effect. I'm going downfield no matter what. He goes say, I say Mixon. You know, Swift. I'm going to go Swift, to be honest. Mixon, he got to do more. Burrow slinging it. He got to help. Mixon, Perine's out, so get more receptions and carries. Man, shout out to Perine too, man. My girl worked with his mom, man. He been doing his thing since Oklahoma. But nah, man, I'm taking Swift this one. You know, it's too much of a chance that Joe Burrow will be going downfield. Detroit's secondary is bad, but Detroit plays hard. So I'm gonna go with Swift because they're gonna be. I feel like they're gonna be in this game, and it's gonna be some type of battle. I'm taking Swift. Hawkinson ain't showing me nothing. St. Brown, we'll talk about him in a second. But if I had to go, I'm taking Swift. Who scored more, JD? Swift or Mixon? They play each other.
It's definitely Swift just based on the PPR value in the game script. I mean, it shows, for the first 4 weeks, 5 weeks of what Swift role is going to be. Swift is getting all the motherfucking the passing situation. Swift is also bringing a little bit of the value on the ground. You know what I mean? Swift has had multiple 20-point games, even though Jamal Williams has had a few 20-point games. You know what I mean? Give me Swift, though. Mixon is not – I don't know what it is with Mixon. I don't know if he got cement shoes or, and Mixon is a hell of a receiver out that backfield as well. You know what I mean? We know somebody who's tapped in with Mixon and gives a full in-depth analysis on Mixon to where he runs routes like as a receiver. You know what I mean? Shout out to my guy.
It's that Herbert effect, man. If you ain't drawing up the pass play for Mixon, he ain't getting it. Herbert is looking downfield. Question: Hawk or Schultz this week?
I think it's Schultz, bro.
I'm going with Schultz. I'm benching Hawk. I lost the game last week. I should have played Knox over Hawkinson. I was trying to give Hawkinson one more shot.
Knox is that guy.
I can't mess with Hawkinson. I'm hoping he has a good game and I could trade him.
And the thing with Dawson, on top of E. Sanders being there, is what's not making Stephon Diggs be that guy that he was last year. Even though that the wins are there, they don't need Stephon's to be that 90 reception, 1,400 yards, 155 targets. They don't need him to do that this year just based on that Josh Allen is finding everybody. You know what I mean? Even Beasley. Beasley had hell of a games last year. I had Beasley in a Josh Allen stack in the ALB where they got me like 60 points in one game, bro. You know what I mean? But they needed Beasley like that to take the pressure off of Diggs. Diggs is not – they don't need him to be that right now this year. So, Dawson Knox is killing, bro, on top of E. Sanders. 100%, bro.
Yeah, I was happy y'all let me get him in the league. I needed a tight end.
That's big. That was
look, we won't spend too much on this. We did talk about it a little bit. Keenan Allen or Mike Williams rest of the season. Only because I'm scared of Mike Williams being hurt. I know you can't judge it on that. I'll go with Keenan Allen.
You can judge it on that just based on his first 5 years in the league, 4 years in the league. So he's a first round pick. So you got the 4 years with the player option of 5 or the team option with the 5th year being a first round pick. So I think this is his fifth year in the first 4. He's a 10 to 12 game guy, 8 to 12 game guy. You know what I mean? He going into the week, banged up.
I'd be scared. Not to cut you off. Would you be kind of scared of Mike Williams missing time and it being harder for Keenan Allen, even though he's elite?
No, because Keenan Allen, it shows in previous years that Keenan Allen is always going to draw, 100 plus targets and get you 90 receptions. Even though last year he had, a little under 1,000 receiving yards and a few TDs, but yet the 90 receptions, PPR, and where you're drafting Keenan is in the middle of the draft. He's going to pay dividends. Where you got Mike Williams at this year, he's giving you WR1 numbers, but you got him as a flex play. And for him to be banged up going from week 6 into later on into the season is just kind of hard to trust. So he's definitely a sell high candidate before this week. He would have been if you would have been on your shit. You would have tried to sell high on him because of just past experiences with him of not being able to finish the season or give you a whole 16 game season. Now we're doing 17 games, shit like that.
Another question on this Bengals and Lions game. Are you trusting St. Brown back-to-back 13s? He seems to be one of their favorite targets. We know Detroit probably always going to be down. He was a high dynasty pickup. Trust is a big word. You know what I'm saying? Like, do you trust him to keep 13 as his floor and maybe get some 15s to 20s? No. But you got to stash, you know, if you got people that's just collecting dust on your bench and you never know you're never going to play them, bye weeks is really, really kicking in next week where it's going to be way more chance.
That was gonna be my point, bro. But the collecting dust line, that was a cold shit. But
sometimes people
I do trust Amon St. Brown as a 13-point floor, just based on that Tyrell Williams and is it Khalif Raymond and I don't know who else is over there. You know, this is a rookie that's stepping in to already a bad offense, which, you know what I mean, all you got is Hawkinson and Swift as other receiving threats. You know, I think just based on not having a lack of weapons that Amon is going to be able to command targets over there. You know, not to say that all the targets is going to connect, but yet 13 points, you know, that ain't nothing but a 70-yard 70 yards on the ground and maybe like 12 receptions. Or, you know, you could just flip it, you know, in a PPR format, 13 points ain't shit. But yeah, you didn't draft Amon to be anywhere in your starting lineup, like Cuzzo said, only on bye weeks. You know what I mean? So to have him to fill in on bye weeks and for him to be one of the top targets in Detroit, yeah, he's definitely worth a bench spot. And for you to throw him in on one of your bye weeks, definitely.
Yeah, I'm trusting him about as much as I'm trusting a lot of these plug and play type wide receivers.
Plug and play, there it is.
I trust him. I'll give you one: St. Brown or Shenault. I'll go St. Brown, even though I like Shenault.
You know, to me with Shenault, he brings a lot more to the table, just the way that they used him last year and shit like that. You know what I mean? You know, Shenault, you know, he's a short to intermediate route runner like that, and then he also gets carries. And the way that he was used in college, you know, I don't know if that fucking I can't even think of the coach's name, whatever his weird ass, you know, what he be doing. I mean, I don't know if he wants to bring Shenault into that offensive weapon like type of shit. You know what I mean? But I like Shenault, bro. I definitely do. You know. So give me Shenault just as of right now.
Shenault over St. Brown, all right.
Especially with Shark out there. You know, Shark out the game. You know, on the IR.
Cowboys and Patriots. This is a long-term question right here. And I'm only saying it because we're talking about players that collect dust. If you got some people that's collecting dust,
you go with that collecting dust shit.
I mean, you ain't using them, you ain't trying to trade them, you just got them sitting there. You know what I'm saying? They just on the shelf, never gonna play, right? Instead, go stash these running backs that we talking about. JD, you went and stashed Darrell Williams a week ago before, and you just got to do shit like that. So my question is, will Ramondre Stevenson take over? Harris banged up. Stevenson had a touchdown call back. We're long, far away, and about 2 to 3 injuries removed from him fumbling game one. JJ Taylor's not getting activated. Man, I think it's and then you got him playing the Cowboys. Is this the week where he could show his full capabilities just based on they're gonna be down?
So let's go back to when Damian Harris was drafted and you had Sony as a first round pick. Damian Harris was inactive his first year. You know what I mean? He might have came in the last few weeks of the season, but this is what Belichick does. You know what I mean? You know, that running back position is not a high value. You know what I mean? He feels like he can go and get running backs later on in the draft to be able to produce. You know what I mean? And so with Damian Harris, first of all, with him shipping out Sony as a first round pick, we don't believe in you like that, dog. You got to go. Here it is, Damian Harris, these first couple of weeks of the season ain't doing what he doing, but Ramondre or Rahamador doing what he does, even though he was inactive, just like how Damian Harris was inactive his rookie year and shit like that. You know what I mean? It's a trend in there in New England with them running backs. And then, you know, a long story short story long is that Bill Belichick is going to go with the hot hand. And, you know, Ramondre or Rahamador, if you followed us during the off season, you know what I mean? He's gonna get those touches 100%. You got a 237-pound back, 6'1", looking like LeGarrette out there, you know what I mean? And you have to have that run game to go behind a rookie quarterback on top of them tight ends. And after this question, there's going to be another question about the 2 tight ends in New England.
Let's do it right now.
Whether or, you got to tip the scales, you know what I mean? Shout out to the motherfucking the digital scales and the motherfucking triple beams. You got to weigh your options. Me and this nigga come from the triple beam era, 100%. Hey. You know what I mean? So, but give me Rahamador.
Stash Rahamador right now.
100%.
Stashing. Is Hunter Henry a must start?
So, I mean, with the 2 tight ends, we got to go back. Shout out to my dog, may he rest in peace, Aaron, just on the foot, on the fields, on what he did on the field. 100%. That was my dog. I fuck with Hernandez, you know what I mean? And for him and Gronkowski to be there and what they did in those early years in New England, that's what, we have a track record, you know what I mean? So it's going to be games where one of them balls out and the other one doesn't, you know what I mean? But it's a track record. But yet Hunter Henry, the way that he commanded everything that he commanded last week, I like Henry, but John New, like Cuzzo said last year on this shit, is the way that they use John New in Tennessee. They have used John New like that in fucking New England, bro. So John New's also going to get his attempts too. John New is a fucking athlete, bro. But Hunter Henry is a pure tight end to where, he's just a red zone guy. He might be used in the hash marks and shit like that, but John New is a complete athlete, bro, to where you have to watch it. He's a fucking chess piece, bro.
Look,
just game script.
Hunter Henry, they lost James White. Harris banged up. The run game ain't really clicking. I think we're approaching that time where they just let Mac Jones do his thing, and I think the time is now. And Hunter Henry is going to be the biggest beneficiary of that. Give me Hunter Henry. I'm starting him over a lot of players, obviously not over the big ones, but I'll give you one, Hunter Henry or Hockenson. I'm going Hunter Henry or Knox. I might go after this week. I might go Hunter Henry because they're gonna need Hunter Henry if they open the playbook up more.
Yeah, but Dawson Knox is in a better offense into where you have a Stephon Diggs and an E. Sanders. The Patriots don't have a Stephon Diggs or an E. Sanders. I mean, even though you got Jacoby Myers, who's a PPR monster, other than that, you don't have no other receiving threat. So when you have to roll attention to a Stephon Diggs and also a E. Sanders or a Cole Beasley, that's why Dawson Knox is able to do what the fuck he's been doing for a consistent 3 to 4 games. So give me Dawson Knox over John New or a Hunter Henry easily. What's up, huh? You got it, big bro.
Hey, Hunter. Hey, shout out to he said I want to. Hey, you so out of it right now. You don't even know we in week 6.
Hey, you're not out of it, bro.
Are you 1-5? Are you 1-5? Because we in week 6, man. You almost 1-5. Did your Thursday night matchup look right for you? How you feeling going into this? You gonna be 1-5 or 2-4? Because your season ain't over if you become 2-4.
It's definitely not over, bro. Sure. Just stay tuned in. We'll get you right.
Look, back to Hunter Henry though. Last 3 games, 6 targets, 5 targets and a touchdown, 8 targets last game and a touchdown. I'm telling you, bro, they finna open it up.
No, I'm not knocking what he's doing.
And I play against him this week. God damn it. But I'm playing him. See, I got a lot of players I play. That's what happens when you get a lot of leagues. I'm going Hunter Henry for the rest. Hunter Henry or Gesicki?
I gotta go Henry, even though that I had, like I said, I got a few shares of Gesicki in the home leagues, you know what I mean? But I gotta go just based on Tua. Tua wasn't looking for Henry. Looking for Gesicki in these first few weeks that he was healthy. That shit hurt it, bro. On everything.
Hunter Henry or I can't say that because I was about to pull somebody from your team to see if you like them a little more. But yeah, I'm going Hunter Henry, man. I'm a believer. Cardinals at Browns. Cardinals coach is not coaching. Not
he got the COVID.
He got the vid, man.
Oh, he tested positive for the shit. But I think all the coaches
over there in that Scottsdale.
Everybody that's not on the field, it was mandated they had to be vaccinated. You know what I mean? So, he done came in contact with some of the bullshit, but yet, Stefanski, he was on the field or off the field during their first round playoff last year, and they end up winning the motherfucker, but yet he was relaying this shit, I'm gonna have to drop a dime, shit like that, you know what I mean? So, I mean, what's his name? I can't even think of
I messed up. I messed up. You was right. You was right. Dawson Knox off the waivers, baby. That's what I'm talking about. Me too. I ain't mean to cut you off, JD. Hey, look,
definitely. That's family jumping up in that motherfucker, man.
Hey, my first question with this one, we talk about how thin the running backs is getting. Is Connor a safe start for now on?
I like Connor from here on out, just like how I was talking about that high-powered offense in Kansas City, that high-powered offense in Buffalo, with the running backs, Darrell Williams getting the green and red zone touches, with Zach Moss getting the green and the red zone touches. Here it is, Connor Williams. Connor Williams. With Connor getting, 4-5 TDs in 6 weeks, or 5 weeks, being to where that they're going to be in that green to red zone a lot more often than any other team in the NFL. And he's the one that's commanding those motherfucking touches. He's scoring at a pace to where he's going to have a 15 TD season. He might not have, he might not hit for over 1,000, but yet he might have 700-800 yards with 14 to 15 TDs.
He's last year.
The scoring is going to get you 6 points. So any 10 yards after that, he's going to be giving you a RB2 number.
He's last year's Todd Gurley.
Yeah, I seen BJ say that shit in the chat. No, definitely. I agree with that. But yet, you got to respect that, though, bro.
He's last year's Todd Gurley. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, yo, what's up, Brody?
Last year's Todd Gurley. If you play him, he's going to get at least a touchdown, 10 points minimum, 18, 20, and 9.
And that's what you drafted him at. You drafted him after the 11th, 12th round. You didn't draft him as your 2 or your flex. You drafted him as depth.
Shout out to Wood trading me Connor for the LO, man. Shorty. Actually, I ain't gonna say it was a low. He got Miles Sanders. I gave him Gainwell and D Hop for Allen and Connor. It was a trade I have been talking about.
That was a fair swap. I liked that trade. I'm kind of mad. I was bullish on not receiving Hopkins to pair with Kyler Murray because he kind of offered me, a trade to go ahead. I think it was I want to say you offered you wanted Metcalf for Hopkins and Gainwell. And I completely rejected it. But looking back at that, you know what I mean?
It was another. I think it was Sony Michel. It was Sony Michel.
And it's just the way that the Eagles is not using their running backs as of right now.
Yeah, they trash. I want to ask you this question though, because he's getting a full workload. Kareem Hunt, is he going over 20 tomorrow?
So my thing is just with Arizona that they do give up a little. They're susceptible to the run game, but what Kareem Hunt does better than what Nick Chubb does is in the PPR value, and that I'm pretty sure that with no Jarvis, OBJ not being that guy that Baker's looking to right now. I'm pretty sure that Kareem Hunt is going to have at least 8 targets. Maybe 8 to 10. Give me 10 targets for Kareem Hunt this Sunday, easily. Yeah, no, I can see him being a 20 point back this week. Yeah. So I'm gonna say at 20. Not over.
I'm gonna say over 20 been easy for him. So I'm gonna say he's either he gonna do his thing on the ground, maybe not, or he gonna do his thing in the catching. He was banged up a little bit too. So, Dearness Johnson and the Felton might be some deep draft DraftKings plays. You know what I'm saying? Raiders at Broncos. The Las Vegas, the Los Oakland Raiders is what they call them. I think it is the Los Oakland Raiders. Can Waller, Carr, or Jacobs, or all three get back on track? I ain't worried about Waller.
I think this is the game that Waller has had subpar games these last few games, but just based on the overall black cloud or black hole, lack of a better term, going in around the Raiders, you know what I mean? I think this is the game.
New regime,
no,
new coach,
100%.
They might come out on fire.
And the cold thing is, they said that they had this information that came about Friday before everything then popped off. So the shit was already circulating, you know what I mean? And then you had, Raider players sticking up for Gruden, talking about, before he even resigned, you know what I mean? So for this to go on, and then, shout out to, I can't even think of my boy's name right now. Oh, Carl Nassib, your shit, that shit don't matter to me, bro. 100%. You do you, I'm gonna do me. But yet, for this motherfucker to talk the way he talked about, all walks of life, and he's the one that's telling you to, man, fuck you, bro.
So 100%. You saying they ready to turn it up?
Bro. No,
they're ready to turn it up. The Raiders right now.
They start off 3-0.
They was distracted.
They was a hell of a team. You know what I mean? For the first three, shout out to them, man. 100%.
I'm looking for Jacobs to get back on get back on track, but it's if I had Jacobs and I had like a Darrell Williams or Herbert, I'm not starting him over Herbert. I mean, I'm starting Jacobs over Herbert easy, but I might be back and forth on like a Darrell or last week with a Damian before he was ruled out. So I'm not really sold on Josh Jacobs. I might even rather play Zach Moss over Josh Jacobs right now.
My thing is just with Jacobs is he's just a volume play, just like how I was saying.
He's a winner back though, late season.
No, definitely. He's a volume play. He's Drake ain't did shit. King Drake ain't did shit to where he's eating in the Josh Jacobs touches, even though Josh Jacobs, was questionable and missed a game or two here and there. You know what I mean? But Jacobs, when he's on that field, he's the volume play. He's a 25 touch per game, bro. Some games is gonna pay off. Some games you're gonna get 10 points. You know what I mean? But that volume is king in fantasy. And the way that you drafted your team, if you drafted Josh Jacobs as your second or maybe even your first running back, and you deep at every position, that volume is gonna get you that 10 to 12 or that 10 to 15 that you need.
He's a winner back, but I'm sitting him for a lot of different people. But I think they're gonna get back on track. I think we're gonna see a motivated Raider team. Come on, let's do it. I look him to beat the Broncos and the Broncos. My next question is Sutton. Can he stay on track? He kind of been up and down. 2 the first game, then 29, then 8, then 7, then 25. Judy's supposed to be back real soon, if not already. You know what I'm saying? I'm kind of. He's designated return from IR if he gonna play Judy or not. But Sutton, you made a comment before the show about Bridgewater and what's the name? If Sutton have another good game, I'm trading him just because
you're gonna sell high on him.
I'm gonna sell high. You can't keep messing with him. Then you got Judy coming back. I'm gonna say he's down. I'm gonna say Sutton ain't gonna be where it is. Get him one more good game. Ship him off, y'all. Swerve.
I'm not mad at that. You know what I mean? Especially where you got Sutton coming off the injury where you got him. So you didn't draft him high you might have drafted him as a flex or just as a bench player. You know what I mean? If he definitely balls out because he's had a few 20-point games, if you want to sell high on him, I'm not mad on that to upgrade at a position that you need. You know what I mean? I'm not saying keep him and just fire him up every week just based on the type of offense that's there, So, I'm not mad at that, But I like Sutton, though. I got Sutton in a dynasty league, or I got him in a dynasty and a super flex league. You know what I mean? So,
next I got some good questions on this next one on some players we like and don't like. Let's talk about the Seahawks and the Steelers. No rust. My first question is, as a tandem, who scores more, DK and Lockett or Deontay Johnson and Claypool?
I'll jump out first on this one, and I would lean towards a quarterback play with the Steelers, just based on that we got Geno versus Big Ben, but yet I think that Lockett and DK propose a bigger threat downfield than Deontay and Claypool present. So I'm gonna go DK and Lockett just based on how I like, how the offense is built around them and to push the ball down the field. So give me DK and Lockett being able to outscore Deontay and Claypool, and give me DK just based on that I'm a homer and I have him in one of my in my home leagues. I need him to be a 30-point player this week.
I'm gonna go DK and Lockett because there's gonna be no run game in Seattle, no Russell Wilson. They might be down. I like the run game better in Pittsburgh, even though I like Deontay Johnson and Claypool. We got a question in the chat. Rank the following for tomorrow's game: half PPR, T. Higgins, Tony, and Lamb. I'm going Lamb, T. Higgins, Tony, only because Tony plays the Rams, and I want to see another game from Tony, especially with Shepard being back.
Give me Lamb and Higgins just based on them as the alpha. Well, no, I ain't going to say they're the alpha because Jamar Chase is definitely the alpha in Cincinnati in his rookie year. But give me Lamb and Higgins, though, for sure. I just don't know if my boy from Florida State, I can't think of his name right now, is going to be following Tony. And I'm pretty sure that he really is, because that's the only threat that they have out there. So yeah, give me Lamb and Higgins.
Okay.
Jalen Ramsey.
I got another question for you. As a DK owner, are you looking to trade him and lock it with no rush?
No, not at all. I mean, you just answered my question for me. The lack of the running game. The lack of the running game is going to force them to pass the ball. And that I think that DK, as long as he's not seeing the motherfuckers whose name I couldn't think of just 2 seconds ago, Jalen Ramsey, as long as he's not seeing Ramsey, he's going to propose a threat to beat any corner in the league right now.
Yeah. Tony, Lamb, and Higgins. Okay, Wood, I see you. Come get Tony, man. If you really believe, man. I ain't messing with the Rams staying away. Last game of the night. Bills at Titans.
That's the Monday night game?
Monday night game. Are you starting Emmanuel or Julio Jones? Emmanuel Sanders or Julio Jones?
Man, Brad. I mean, I think that
is you in love with the name or the game?
So that's what I was just finna say, bro. So all of us that's in this realm of the H2S, we consider ourselves, players of the game. That we do this shit for us in this community. You know what I mean? Us looking like we not no squares, we not no weirdos, and you know what I mean? Shit like that. So all of us have had some type of interaction of being, you know what I mean? So I'm in love with the motherfucking game. I'm not in love with the name, even though I done made my name doing some other shit. So look though, to bring it all back home, give me Emmanuel, just based on that Julio, he can't get on the field right now, bro. He can't get on the field, bro. I'm in love with the game, bro. Give me Emmanuel that's putting up consistent numbers over Julio. And I mean, I don't know. I really don't.
Emmanuel last three, 26, 12, and 20. Look, man. Rest in peace to my dad, man. Fat Kev Sr., man. Hey, it ain't the beauty.
It ain't the beauty, nigga. It's the duty.
It's the duty, man. Right now, waiting to see what Julio gonna do coming back. Titans worst pass defense in the league. Give me Emmanuel Sanders on Monday night. Floor 13 and 15,
easily, bro.
Julio could go out that game. Is Moss a must start with all the injuries of running backs? We won't touch on that because we did that already, but I want to compare two players like each other, which would be Moss or James Conner. Are they the same player, or are you trusting one over the other more than the other?
I think I'm gonna jump out on that, and I just say they are the same player with the same floor, just based on that the high power offenses that they are in, and the opportunities for them to score between the 20 and the goal line. So yeah, give me them. And they have also counterparts that are from running backs or that are from the 20 to the 20, whether it be Devin Singletary or what's the other running back from Arizona?
Edmonds.
So Edmonds and Singletary are 20 to 20 PPR value as well. You know what I mean? But Conner and Moss, once you get into the 20, the opposition's 20, it's going to be Conner and Moss. So give me Conner and Moss. Them other dudes, they have to score from outside the 20 in order to even get, you know what I mean? And Moss, Singletary, he's one of the top 10 guys in yards per carry, but yet how many touchdowns does he has? The touchdowns is what's going to get you a lot of points in your fantasy matchup, bro. 100%. So I'm not going to say Moss or Conner, whatever the greater than or less than is, but I don't know what the.
I'm gonna say Moss because Conner and them playing that dome, man, and winter is coming, y'all. The winter backs is gonna be picking up in that Buffalo, man. That's what they doing. It's crazy because if you play DraftKings or anything, try to get a lot of Bills players, possibly not a lot, but that game, Titans pretty suck. Get you at least 2. But yeah, man, look, that was the week 6 preview, man. Week 6 is here. I mean, week 6 is here, man. If you know this, it's not over. Shout out to Unc. It ain't over if you down. You know what I'm saying? And your league ain't won if you up right now. You know what I'm saying? That's a long way to go. This is the time where you got to be strategic. You got to be looking at your buys. You got to be looking at the weaknesses of other teams, because at this point, those bad teams, they know they're bad and they're going to try to improve. This is the swiv or swerve season right now.
That's coming up. So a swiv or swerve episode is coming up for sure, bro.
Approaching that trade 100%. Deadline, you got to start, don't be afraid to shake something up. When things ain't been going right, or don't be, like I said, attack the weaknesses. My cousin right here, I know he needs a running back in a few leagues. He's stingy with me, you know what I mean? But I'm going to keep trying. You miss 100% of the shots you don't take.
But the cold thing, look, see how you want to bring me up, though, is like I said, I was able to go get Daryl. I was able to go get Chuba. But also I got A.J. Dillon in both of my home leagues, so I'm able to fire A.J. Dillon up as my second running back because I'm deep at wide receiver. You know what I mean? But I would love to upgrade if the opportunity is right to upgrade at running back for sure.
Hey, stay deep, my friends.
No, definitely. But I'm not going to give up. I'm not going to give up a position of strength in order to upgrade at a different position, because that's not a lateral move. That's
make your next move your best move, like a chess move.
100%. I agree with that. I agree with that saying. So I'm not gonna bless a motherfucker to hurt my shit. I'm not gonna do that.
Hey,
but look though, so is it safe to say on the 3-week hiatus that we had, whether it be AKA life and here going out from tonight, going on to the rest of the season, that we back every week?
Oh yeah, we back every week. The hiatus is over. We on. Love you, man. Fournette gave you. See, that's what I'm saying. It ain't over, man. 2 and 4 is in your sign, and then you know what? Two wins from that, and you back 500, man. Don't give up. Now we back, man. We gonna give y'all that reaction on Monday. Jump on StreamYard. Middle of the week. Keep giving y'all this content. We back though for sure. Hoop Talk coming back. Heart2Start brand is here to do what it's gonna do, man. Matter of fact, we're gonna run the outro on the way out, man.
Go Suns, bro.
Hey,
Suns Nation,
week 5, y'all. It's time.
Saying no. Niggas don't humble, nigga. Yeah. Fuck what a nigga say, I feel like Dre. Man, the game is thick. Suckers wanna play and low my K until that bitch click. Big stick, hanging out the bottom of my 4-5. No lie, if I whip it out, somebody gon' die. Only time you hard is on the gram when you go live. Flexing with a tube but never blam, I'ma blow mine. Won't show mine until it's go time. Nah, you can't hold mine. Yeah, I got the whole mine, I'm on the goal line. And I'm going for 6, watch me up the score. Caught him at the stove, he was with his hoe. Had to let him know, that's your ass, you don't get it past. You reap what you sow. Why you speaking low? Speak up, boy, you been a hoe. Boy, you been a bitch, get off dick, tryna steal my drip. Look up in the air, you see me, I'm fly as bird shit. Never on no nerd shit, why you on that lame shit? You don't want no smoke, you get smoke with who you hang with. You know what I'm saying? Lame ass niggas talking about they on some gang shit. Nigga, you was a bitch, nigga. Matter of fact, nigga, you was a hoe. Nah, you ain't no hoe, cause hoes get dope. Man, that pussy ass a cat.
We fucking lied, my niggas.
Tell him free.